Hey everyone, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and welcome to another real estate video. Today I'm going to talk about a meth house that we bought that ended up burning down. We rebuilt it and had a very interesting experience. So this happened in 2003, a very long time ago when I first got into real estate and was working with my dad. And full disclaimer, not trying to make this clickbait, I don't have a video of the house burning down. I don't even have pictures of it, unfortunately. But I have links to articles that were in the paper about the meth house, about it burning down, and I do have some pictures of the house after we fixed it up. So, we're going to talk about that process, how it happened, what happened, how we handled it, and the crazy situation that it was. And I'm surprised I haven't done a video on it yet, but here it is. So, this was back when I worked with my dad right after college, and we bought 95% of our house flips from the foreclosure sale. So this was a sale where you got a list of the properties that were being foreclosed on, going to be auctioned off on Monday. Then on Wednesday, they held the auction at 10 a.m. You went in, bid on properties. If you won the bid, you had until noon that same day to pay cash to buy the property. Back then, there weren't a whole lot of people buying these. There wasn't a lot of competition, but still a few people doing it. And my dad flipped 2 to 5 houses a year, maybe, in that range. And so that's where he got almost all of his deals. He didn't look on the MLS, anywhere else. And I was just kind of learning at this point back then about how to get deals. So another interesting thing was back then in Colorado, where we are, you could redeem property. So there was a 60 or 90-day redemption period where the previous owner could redeem the property, meaning they pay off the full auction amount 60 or maybe it's 45 days after the sale. So the house sells, someone bids on it, could be an investor, it could be the bank. The owner had 45 days, 60 days, whatever it was, to come back, pay it off in full, and take the house back. So it was an interesting situation where some investors could go to the owners, buy the property with a quitclaim deed, complete a deed of trust, and they could end up redeeming the property back. So that's what we did a few times. There's nothing illegal about it. They actually changed the system since then to stop this from happening. But quite a few investors would let the property sell at auction. Then they would go talk to the previous owners, buy the house from them for $500, $5,000, or maybe $500 now. And if they ended up buying the house, $5,000 later, something like that, depending on the deal. And then they'd redeem the house, and they'd buy the house that way. So we were doing that on a house that we found in Evans, Colorado. So the house had bid at the sale. We went and talked to the owners. They were home. We went in the house, looked around. The house actually looked to be in really good shape. We came up with a deal and ended up doing this deed of trust deal. Well, what happened was we redeemed the property, bought it, and literally 1 or 2 days later, the guy was caught at a gas station driving away without paying for gas. The cops drove to his house, followed him. He left his door wide open. When the cops went in, they found him cooking meth in the house. It was a meth lab. Now, looking back on this, we probably should have known it was a meth lab, but it was back in 2003 before that's even a thing, really. There were cameras on the outside of the house. It smelled really funky, like chemicals. I didn't know what it was at the time. Now, I know what a meth house smells like. Back then, it's like, oh, it didn't seem that crazy. And they had kids in the house, which was horrible. But the cops busted the place. The guy went to jail, and he did have the nerve to ask us if he could have his extra $2,500 or whatever it was after we bought the house. And we said no. Getting busted for a meth house violated the part of the contract that said you had to keep the house in good condition. So he did not get his money from jail. And while he's in jail, a couple of weeks later, someone broke into the house and burned it down. So we had a crazy situation. I had to be interviewed by the police. My dad had to be interviewed by the police. They were wondering if we burned it down because we figured out it's a meth house and would be losing all this money because we'd have to rehab everything, almost, rebuild the entire house due to it being contaminated. So in the end, they cleared us, realized it wasn't us. It turned out to be a friend of the people who used to live there, and he somehow lit a fire in the basement. It spread to the whole house. Had to tear down the entire house, rebuild it. Took a while for the insurance company to do all that. They came through, paid for it. We sold it. Didn't really make any money at all, but could have been much worse given the whole situation. So I'm going to show you a few articles that kind of show what happened here now. Is the article in the paper, the Greeley Tribune, which is so nice. They saved it back from 2003, like I said, for when the guy got caught by the police for the meth lab. Gas drive-off leaves police to suspected meth lab. Yay! Here's the article that goes over how they're investigating a gas drive-off. They found 2 men who they thought were cooking methamphetamine. So the police figured out what car it was that drove off from looking at cameras. And from what we were told, they found them, followed the car, and then the front door was wide open at the house, so the police walked in and busted them cooking meth. And unfortunately, like I said, which is just an absolutely horrible situation, there's 3 kids in the house, 15-year-olds, 2 elementary school children. They took them, thank goodness. And this is the guy, Mark Eugene Hastings, who was the one who we bought the house from, who owned it, and then his friend who was helping him. So they went to jail. He called us from jail asking for the money after we'd done this deal. We said no, and that was not the end of it. So, I mean, if you really want to read this article, I'll link to it in the notes to the description below. But this was back when the meth labs were just starting to kind of come around. We figured out what they were, hadn't really heard of them before. So all of this was new to me. Had no idea what was going on, and it was just crazy. But now I'll show you how it got even crazier with the next article. So here we go. A couple weeks later, police investigate suspicious fire at home. Yay. So, like I said, the house was busted as a meth lab, and then the house caught on fire. How my dad and I found out about the fire was seeing the article in the paper. We saw there was a fire, pretty big deal in our town. Like, hey, that house looks kind of familiar. Looked up the address and realized, oh, that is our house. So we had no idea what to do, had no idea what was going on. They did a full investigation, like I said, to try and figure out what happened and if we were involved in it at all, because this was such a crazy situation. I think we bought the house for $120,000, somewhere in that range, and we were planning to sell it for like $160,000, but we thought it needed almost no work. It was going to be a really quick, easy flip. Well, when it became known as a meth house, now all of a sudden you're tearing out all the drywall, the kitchen, the heating ducts, the carpet, almost everything. And we didn't even know that at the time. That was something we learned afterward, after this whole process kind of was completed. But it's not an easy process to mediate a meth house. So that's why the police thought that we might be involved. And we went to a little interrogation room. The guy who interviewed me was literally reading questions off a piece of paper. So I don't know how serious they really took us. I don't think he was their top detective, but obviously a little stressful. But they cleared us. They found the guy who did it. And then eventually our insurance figured out it wasn't us as well. They paid us, and we ended up selling the house. So now we'll show you some pictures of the house after we fixed it up. All right, so here's the MLS sheet, selling it in 2004, almost a year later. Like I said, luckily my dad was really good friends with a builder who did a really good job repairing it, fixing it, building it from scratch for us. The only thing we were able to keep was the foundation. Everything else had to be scrapped. Unfortunately, this is back in 2004, before we had multiple pictures on the MLS, so that's the only picture we have of it. And I don't have a lot of other pictures. I wish I kept as good a track back then as I do now of all our flips. Like we have, we did 26 flips last year, have videos and pictures of all of them on this YouTube channel, which is really cool. Unfortunately, back then, it would have been really cool to have all those pictures, but I don't know if we do have any, or if we do, my parents aren't sure where they are, so this is all we have right now. But you can see we end up fixing the house up, selling it. We did okay. We bought it for $120,000, but it actually cost us, I think, less than that to rebuild it. So we made maybe a tiny bit of money or broke even on it. Could have been much worse. If it would have ended up being a meth house and we would have had to rebuild the whole thing, we would have lost probably $20,000 to $30,000 on this deal. So it kind of teaches you some things to watch out for, something we learned about meth to watch out for. Cameras, crazy weird chemical smells, stains on the walls, things like that are things to be very careful with. I'm not saying every house like that is a meth house, but there are signs that they could be a meth house if you see those things. Also, buying from the public trustee sale is also very risky. We don't do it anymore simply because there's so few foreclosures here. There aren't that many good deals, and there's so much competition. We can actually get better deals buying from the MLS or wholesalers or other sources. So Moral of this story is be very careful buying houses from the trustee sale, although that wasn't the whole reason. It was a meth house. And be very careful with suspicious houses, drug houses. They can turn into a nightmare. So that's all that we have for this one. I wish we had the picture of the fire, all kinds of different stuff, but unfortunately I can't transfer that from my brain to the video. So take care of your properties. Watch out for crazy situations. And, of course, check out investformore.com for more information on flips, rentals, being an agent, all that good stuff. And if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Any comments below, leave them. I'll answer as many as I can. Any other questions about the situation, I'll try to answer them. It's been a while, a long time since this happened, but still a good reminder about what can happen in this crazy real estate investing world. Thanks for watching. We'll have more videos soon.